process obviously started with the technical side of things, learning how to read music, learning about different chord progressions, and also immersing myself in different sounds, different styles of music, different ways of playing. But ultimately, the creative process really came through when I started to listen to my own inner voice and play just what came to me naturally. So for me, the music I've created through my EP is basically what comes to me naturally. I can't quite define to say, okay, this is specifically how I sound like, or it imitates the specific sound. I think there are different elements that make my overall sound, and that is unique to me. Okay, so dawn means the beginning of a phenomenon, or the moment where you see the rays of light, but you don't actually see the sunlight yet, right? So for me, that was metaphoric for my life at that point in time. I felt like I was coming into my own as a woman. I was coming into my own as a person and as a human being. So I'd gone through certain things, like everybody goes through certain things in life that may be challenging, or that may, I guess, question a lot of what they understand about themselves, who they are, why they're doing what they are. And I felt like in order for me to step into the next phase of my life, I needed to sort of close that chapter and allow this new beginning to come to life. My favorite composition based from the EP, I'd say, is Knock It Down. I think it really captures my life story. I think for me as a woman living in the continent, it's about breaking down barriers, breaking down, self-limiting beliefs, just anything that you feel like is limiting you in any way or capacity, and stepping in fully in who you truly are. The toughest thing for me personally was letting go of what I thought my life would be, right? So I had to get out the mindset of what I was and come into a new set of mindset. But that in terms of the technicalities of the business specifically, I understand why artists would want to be signed to a specific label and have teams helping them, define their brand and work on the business side of the music, because as a creative it's a lot of work. It's challenging in itself, but also being able to, or having to run the business aspect of it as well is quite challenging. So for me, juggling both sides has been quite a challenging experience, but it's also been quite fruitful in the sense that I've learned a lot and I've been able to spread my wings, and in terms of me learning and getting more experience and knowledge, it has been quite beneficial. That's a good question. So I've always known from a very young age, like I don't know how and why it came about, but like from as early as 4 years old, I'd always known that I was going to be an accountant, and I've always known that I was going to be an artist. I just didn't know how it was going to manifest or how it was going to come about. So for me, I'm discovering this as I go. Was it a spontaneous thing? Not necessarily. I mean, to everybody else looking in, I think it may have been, or it may seem like it's a spontaneous thing, but I think it has been there, it has been there in the universe. It was just a matter of it manifesting into, I guess, the physical. Okay. The parts that have improved in terms of my life, I'd have to say, is my mindset and how I view life. It's no longer about the technicalities of life, having a 10-year plan of what your life is going to be. It's just about experimenting with different ideas, meeting new different people, and allowing myself to discover who I am and who I can be in the world. And so it has broadened my mind. So I'm no longer just channeled or thinking in one way. My view of the world is far wider than it was before.
This love is like soft silk petals falling yet cushioned by the breeze. It's with the ease that the motions of this love leap with no bounds. Feeling the belly like 7 colors of that Sunday lunch. It is as though the rainbow after the storm is an extension of what this love is. As it sets in the reflection of our eyes, pouring into our souls, but resting in our hearts, we only hope for this bliss, yet ours is here now.
My inspiration comes from my spirituality. It comes from my relationship with God. It comes from my awareness of self and how I relate to the rest of the world, how I perceive the world. It comes from the relations I have with other people and the relations they have with me. So for me, the creative process is a very internal process. I don't say I'm going to write this specific song, or I saw something and I'm going to write something about it. It just comes from within. And whatever comes out is authentic to who I am at that moment in time, what I'm trying to capture at that moment in time.
Every inch of our being reaching outward from within towards what we have never seen.
I call it Itskwena art style, hey. You know what it's actually inspired by? It's actually my EP album art is inspired by African beading and the patterns. So whatever I was creating at that point in time, I was trying to capture a moment, whether it was Eden or whether it was the flow of life, whether it was luminous. It was just for me to capture how I see the world, using the ideals and this inspiration of African beading and African patterns and techniques of creating art. Yo, I'm gonna go big with this one, hey. Honestly, I can't choose one. I'll probably say India Arie or Jill Scott, but on the specific day, I'll probably have to do like a coin toss to decide. Like, okay, it's either going to be